so we can see. So Denise will be talking to just shift a little bit. This is Denise Emerson's work. And I'm going to turn this down just as we're ready to start. Ready, go.
Can I take my mask off?
You can for this brief talk. Yeah, that'd be great.
I am Denise Emerson. I am Native American. I am Navajo on my father's side and Skokomish on my mother's side. My mother's sister named me Ashkabaloo Denise Emerson after my mother passed away. I was taught at a very young age to appreciate my heritage, my culture, and my tradition. My father was an artist. He oil painted and sketched, and my mother beaded and sewed. So I followed in their footsteps in practicing art. And I've been an artist ever since I can remember, like 6, 7 years old. I remember coloring and creating my own designs with colors. And so I've always loved art, and I would sit at the table and sketch from a Native American art magazine when I was like 8, 9, 10 years old. And my dad would never ever let anybody bother me when I was creating, because he was an artist. And he taught me that I come from a matriarchal tribe, the Navajo. And so he raised me to understand what my role was in the family, being the oldest. And so I am the oldest of 5. And he was happy when I was born because I was born a girl. And that's what he wanted, because it was an honor for him to have a firstborn girl coming from a matriarchal tribe. And my mother did teach me some of her culture, but it was mainly my father that taught me. But she did teach me about spirituality, of being Skokomish. And that's what this art piece is right here, is about Tamanawis. And it's about friendly guardians in the Pacific Northwest. And what I wanted to show was the connection between people and land and the water and the trees and the animals. So this is me in the front in a shawl with a Skokomish dog, which the Skokomish use a lot in their designs. And then these are the gills of life of a salmon. So I put that on my shawl, and it's from a basket design from about 1900. And this is my partner of 30 years. She's a Nez Perce. She's Nez Perce, which is really baby food. But she's giving a blessing to the day and to Mother Earth, and just appreciating the landscape. My father talked a lot about Mother Earth. He talked about everything in life is her, because we're matriarchal. And so he even referred to the car as her, and I was curious about that. I asked him, why do you call the car her? He said, because a car is powerful and as strong as a Navajo woman. So he called the cars, any kind of vehicle, he would call it a her. While I was growing up, my parents talked about their cultural ways and where I belonged in the world and with the family. And so my father told me that I belonged to the Navajo and they belonged to me. I belong to the Skokomish and they belong to me. So I will always have a place in this world, that I would never be alone. So that was very important to him, to teach me that. And because of his teachings, my work is really based on women, mothers, and babies, because I really want to concentrate on what my father taught me, being matrilineal. And so this right here is called Matriarchs, and I did it in Excel and I imported it into Illustrator. So this is a Skokomish woman. She's Skokomish, but she's a Canadian tribe. But I loved how her hairpiece, I just fell in love with her hairpiece. And these are Edward Curtis photographs from like 1900. So my art is really to honor, respect, and to acknowledge my ancestors, like my parents taught me. They talked a lot about our ancestors and where I belonged in it. And we've been here for thousands of years, and my mother told me to appreciate that and to respect it. My art is about women, mothers, and babies, and that's what Moss Babies is about right there, is the mothers and the baby carriers. The baby carriers are lined with moss, and their diapers are lined with moss. And I just love to read about the history of women all across America and Canada.
Thank you.
Yeah.